Guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Tampa Honda, and guess what? I have one of the most popular selling Honda vehicles of all time. It's this vehicle right here. This is a new 2023 Honda Civic. This one is the new hatchback, and it's the top trim, the Sport Touring. But before we get into this very usable, functional, and some would say good-looking hatchback, let's talk about what's going on here. The Civic is a compact car. No matter which way you want to slice it, especially with the 11th generation, with the Civic getting larger. Now, in the compact car segment, there's not many hatchbacks left. Of course, you got the Corolla hatchback, and of course, the Mazda 3, and then we still got the Honda Civic Hatch. Now, lots of different ways to purchase your hatchback, but does Honda bring the most for your money, especially when looking at the Toyota Corolla hatchback? So let's go ahead, let's dive into this Rally Red Civic Sport Touring Hatch and find out. Right off the bat, Rally Red. It's interesting how I like Rally Red much more on the 11th gen Civic than I did on the 10th gen. Now up front, you're gonna get LED headlights, daytime running lamps, and as you can see, we have the turn signals flashing there. You do get LED fog lamps down below. And I don't mind the flat black. I think the flat black is good to go. It's one of the things that I zonk on my very own FL5 Civic Type R is all the gloss black. So I'm digging the Rally Red with the flat black. As we come across that front grille, fully functional up top, fully functional down below. And like I said, for the 11th gen, it got a little bit more of a mature look. What's interesting is that if you look at the Corolla, this center area down below is kind of very similar to what the Corolla hatchback looks like. But we have turbocharged power, whereas the Corolla does not. So that means lurking behind this area, we have an intercooler. Now when we get up onto the hood, you'll notice how the front fascia actually comes up onto that top portion. Then we have our hood, very clean lines. Coming around the bend, I'm really digging the wheel and tire setup on our Civic Sport Touring Hatch. You're gonna have these really good looking machine aluminum gloss black split spoke wheels all the way around. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this wheel? You're looking at what really is a nice 18-inch wheel, 235 on the width, 40 series sidewall. On the Sport Touring, you're actually gonna get a little bit bigger brake rotor, and they work the suspension to give you a little bit more sportier handling and feel over your standard Civic Hatch. Definitely a nice touch. Of course, with the Corolla, you could go XSE, which is that sport trim on the Toyota side of things. Coming down the side, Rally Red on the mirror caps. You got your turn signals nice and blended in cleanly. Blind spot monitoring. You do have some bright, shiny metalwork. I wish on the sport trims they would do a dark chrome finish rather than the bright, shiny metal. Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section, but we do have a standard size sunroof, which is a nice touch. Of course, we have color matched on the door handles, that four-door flexibility, and then it almost doesn't look like a hatchback. It's more of like a Audi Sportback. This is the rear hatch area that's gonna rise up. You got your LED brake lights, but look who I see in there. Who is that? Thomas Edison, the original creator of the light bulb. That's an old school Thomas Edison light bulb. In the turn signal area, Steven is not a fan. He's telling me to zonk all this red in the center, so this is a Steven flood zonk. I don't mind it, Steven does. Let me know if you think I'm right or if Steven's right in the comment section. And it's okay to tell him Steven's right, because at the end of the day, I still know that I'm right. But you do what you feel is right. We do have some Sport Touring badge to let you know that this is the top trim. And then working our way all the way down, you got this simulated rear diffuser, and you'll notice that you have these decorative trim rings actually on both sides, because guess what? Unlike the CR-V and the Pilot, you have functional exhaust on both sides. That's a real head scratcher. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering our Sport Touring Hatch. Guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. I'm not gonna zonk it because the Corolla hatch has a prop rod as well. Underneath the hood is that 1.5 liter turbocharged engine that, guess what, produces more horsepower than the Corolla. The Corolla produces 169 horsepower. Whoopity-doo, ours produces 180 horsepower in this Honda Civic Hatch, 177 pound-feet of torque. They both have CVTs. So this has a CVT, so does the Corolla Hatch. 0 to 60 in about 7.3 seconds. Top speed, 130 miles per hour. But here's where you're a real winner. MPGs, 28 in the city, 37 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs a light 3,024 pounds. And when I say light, that's by today's standards. Remember, a Charger Hellcat weighs around 4,400 pounds. So just to put it in perspective, but why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and see it in motion. All right, guys, we're inside this rally red Civic Sport Touring Hatch. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I really like the Civic Hatch. I think it looks good. You're showing me it's so usable and gets good fuel economy. How much is it? MSRP for the way that this one is spec'd out is right around $32,000. Let's see what you get for the money to the door panel. So same great Civic style. A little bit of gloss black, but you're not really touching that area, so I'm okay with that. You have a bright silver door handle to open up the door there. That looks like a Texas belt buckle, a Honda Texas belt buckle. I do like the way they have the anti-fingerprint material around the switchgear for the windows and the door locks. And of course, those nice, soft armrests with the stitching. Door pockets, they're a good size. You could go ahead and double down with a double down from KFC and a bottle of Surge to wash it down. Going from the door panel to the dash, we have the optional Bose sound system. Love the wire mesh. And if you've been paying attention, each Honda does it differently. On the Civics, you get this honeycomb finish. On the Accords, it's different. Pilots and the CRVs, same thing. A little bit of gloss black, but like I said, you're really not gonna be going like this unless there's something wrong with you. What isn't wrong is this infotainment system. This has the optional 9-inch infotainment system with navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You could do that thing where you could easily move around the icons. Very, very intuitive. The challenge is, camera takes up the whole 9 inches. It's just not super clear. I wish they would have increased the resolution, but you got all the angles to make parking a piece of cake. And then we're right back where we started. You got your dual climate control with the nice aluminum style knobs. You got 3 stages of heated seats, wireless charging, 2 USB-A's, and a 12 volt. This is going to control your CVT. There's more of that look at this, anti-fingerprint. The FBI actually created this for Honda so that there wouldn't be fingerprints. 2 cup holders. You got your drive mode selector switch, which I'll show you more of that on the business end. And of course, we have our Honda key fob with remote start. Nice soft on the armrest with the stitching. Open it up, you got a little bit of a planter's peanut tray, and you could easily fit, I would say, 4 Tangelos in there. Trying to do things a little healthier. 4 medium-sized Tangelos. I could use a Tangelo right about now. I could use any kind of fruit right about now. Seats, the leather material all the way through, the stitching, decent bolstering, nice power assist for the passenger, the driver, and to top it off, of course, you're getting a sporty sunroof. But why don't you get over here at the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Civic Hatch. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. One thing you'll immediately notice is that when you go sport, you get a sporty style aluminum brake pedal, throttle, but still the same dead pedal. I wish they would do aluminum there, so that's a zonk. I do like the seat controls that are easy to get to. Seats feel great. I'm 6 feet tall, and you got plenty of room in here. Steering wheel, leather wrapped all the way around. I love the way they do the stitching with the aluminum style finish. You do have paddles on the back of the wheel to go through those simulated gears, because this is a CVT, manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you got that 10.25-inch digital display. Love the way that it's got the ability to scroll through a cornucopia of information in that center portion. Really cool. And then watch this. You can actually go into your different modes. Sport, normal, and econ. But who the hell wants to be normal? I'm going full in sport. I'm gonna live by the name of this Civic. We're gonna get into the back seat and see how much room we have in this hatch of a Civic Sport Touring. Guys, back seat time in this Civic hatch, and you know what? This Civic has almost as much room as some of the mid-size sedans that are currently being sold in the continental US. Love the amount of space. No pocket behind the driver's seat, so if you got a calzone, you're gonna have to hold on to it in between your legs. You do have USB-A's, which is a nice touch to have some connectivity. I have my own pocket, so I'm putting my big, thick calzone in there, so I'm not gonna bust mozzarella all over this pretty nice interior. Space is great. Pull this down. Oh my, look how soft that is. That's like my grandmother had this Lazy Boy when I used to live in Brooklyn. Growing up in Brooklyn, it was as soft as this freaking armrest. This reminds me of my grandmother and her Lazy Boy couch. Very, very soft. 2 cup holders. Now let's get into the hatch because I want to see how much room there is in this Civic. All right, guys, time to get in that rear hatch area, and this is where the Honda Civic hatch is going to lay the smack down on the Corolla hatch. Watch this. 25 cubic feet of space. I have seen some SUVs that don't have as much space as this Civic hatch. The best news is, besides the low cargo floor, you want more space? Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Here's more space. And it's really easy to do just by flipping up and pushing down. Think about it. You could do a Costco run and get those 55-gallon drums of mayonnaise for your famous birthday mayonnaise eating contest. You could get 4 of those 55-gallon drums in there and really have one hell of a party. But you know what? I'm not about eating mayonnaise. I'm about going on throttle. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go to it in this Civic. All right, guys, we left Tampa Honda. We're in this 2023 Civic Sport Touring Hatch, and right away you're gonna love the finishes that you get in here. The Bose sound system, the soft touch material, the nice 9-inch infotainment system. I know a lot of people don't love this particular setup like this, but you know what? It's really not in your line of sight, which is blocking anything out the windshield, and it's easy to get to, and that's what makes it really nice. You do have that dual climate control that's easy to operate. I just wish it had ventilated seats. At $32,000 would have been a nice touch to have the ventilated seats. Of course, that 10.25-inch digital display, very easy to work through. And then, of course, you got your different modes, and you got the paddles to go through your simulated gears. All right, guys, pulling away from the light. When you're in sport mode, that adjusts the throttle sensitivity, the steering sensitivity, and how the CVT and the engine interacts with one another. But very nice throttle response. I've always liked the steering input on a Honda. It's very, very direct. And visibility in this thing is amazing. You know, you look at the Corolla, you do have some pretty big blind spots in the hatch, and even bigger ones in the Mazda 3 hatch, even though I love the way the Mazda 3 looks. But with this Civic hatch, especially the Sport Touring, you're getting the great leather seats, which are comfortable and supportive at the same time. And then you have plenty of room in the back. I mean, the versatility and the usability of this vehicle is just mind-numbing when you really think about it. All right, guys, we're gonna go on throttle from a dead stop. On throttle, here we go. So you see the simulated gears. The Civic actually does a pretty good job with the CVT with trying to make the driving engagement and enjoyment a little bit more than other compacts with CVTs. Brakes feel great, but I'm telling you, it's really in the suspension work that they've changed how this Sport behaves compared to your standard Civic hatchback. I think that's what you're really gonna like. It's not simply just, hey, we're giving you aluminum pedals and a leather wrapped steering wheel. You're getting 180 horsepower and you're getting larger brakes and retuned suspension. To me, that's the whole package. And that really is what a sport trim should be all about, but you don't always find on a particular vehicle that you're driving. Pulling away from the light, I'm gonna go ahead and shift with the paddles. On throttle, here we go. And like I said, it's just another way to make the transmission feel more like a traditional torque converter transmission. You got your blind spot monitoring, which is nice, your lane keep assist, and the augmented reality on the dash. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of this Civic Sport Touring. We're back here at Tampa Honda, so I'm gonna wrap this one up. I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one heck of a Honda kind of day, a hot Honda kind of day out here at Tampa Honda. Definitely got to thank Sam and the rest of the team getting us access to this hot selling, man, see how many times I've used hot selling 2023 Civic Sport Touring Hatchback. Say that 20 times fast. Let me know what you think. Are you going Civic Hatch? Are you going Corolla Hatch? Let me know down in that comment section who did it better for you. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ladies Rides family. Of course, we got to give it up Stephen Flood Photography. Check him on Instagram. He takes some pretty darn good pictures. At least that's what I hear. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.